Why, good evening to you, chat, and Happy New Year's if you're in a weird time zone. It's going to be an interesting night. I find it really interesting every time I have the New Year's on YouTube. I wait for whatever hour it is, and at 59 minutes, I say Happy New Year, and there's some people in the chat that are excited because it is their Happy New Year. So, I had the best present ever. I got the best gift that I could have possibly asked for this year. Two of my favorite content creators, Pipkin Pippa and Mr. Medicare, they decided to do a stream together, a collab. Unfortunately, Mr. Medicare is feeling very sick, and he said he's going to hang off the microphone. So he's probably going to do one more stream, and after that, that's it. And it's sad because Pippa would have been a great co-host to his show. I think it would have been the best show on the internet if they would be able to stream together regularly. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, but still, I'll probably clip and edit the part where the two individuals collab. It was very beautiful and emotional as well, especially when Pippa says that she doesn't want Jim to die. Like that was very emotional. So yeah, dev stream still going. Well, everyone is probably going to stream tonight. I will stream for a little bit, like 1 hour as usual, and then I'll probably hop on later tonight if I have energy, and I'll stream a little bit more. But it's a tight schedule now. Like every YouTuber is going to be streaming. Every YouTuber does their own thing. It's not really as popular as it used to. Let's put it like that. Because now most people they just prefer to do other things than to watch streamers on New Year's. Yeah, it was very sweet and cute. I agree, Matthew. It was very beautiful. The final yab. That's what I'm going to call it. The final yab. I'll probably make a clip of it and I'll upload it. Hello, Snake Dude for Life. Welcome to the show. I appreciate that you're here. Yes, today we're going to look at the predictions that I made the previous year and see how many of them came out. I will make some predictions for the next year. And hopefully I won't be wrong. Apparently, no, all of them were actually true. Like, I did some really great predictions. I'm talking about the video that I made at the beginning of last year. So it was in 2020. Yeah, in 2020. At the end of 2020, I made a video where I predicted what's going to happen. No, sorry. At the end of 2021, I made a video when I predicted what's going to happen in 2022. And we'll see how many of them I got right. Oh my fucking god, the dogs. Holy shit. Yes, the dogs are afraid of the fucking fireworks. This is a conversation in my country that is pissing me the fuck off. Every single time we have Christmas or New Year's, sorry, not Christmas, New Year's or Romania's National Day, you have like these Karens on Facebook. Oh, but like we shouldn't use fireworks because the dogs, like fuck your dogs. How about that? You know, how about that? So you're saying I can't enjoy the spectacle of New Year's because you have a fucking dog. You know, how about you become a good owner, take your dog inside, hug your dog, you know, put him under a blanket or whatever the fuck is required, and comfort your dog. Like, what do you do when there's a storm outside? Like, if there's a storm and there's loud thunder, is your dog not upset about that? Like, I can't fucking believe other Romanians. I swear to fucking God. We already have a problem with stray dogs, right? Like, every single year, there is a stray dog killing a child. Like, without exception, as far as I know. Like, you get in the newspaper, a kid getting mauled to death by stray dogs in Romania. And every single fucking time, you know, like, people are legitimately outraged. And they're like, okay, well, let's do the genocide. Let's take care of the stray dogs. Like, let's have the final solution for the stray dogs. But the Karens come on and it's like, oh, well, it's not their fault, you know, it's like, well, whatever. Like, how can you say that? How can you think like that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, let's just put our dogs, our stray dogs, into Germany and see whatever the fuck happens. And like, because they seem to have the final solution when it comes to the stray dog question. So anyway, right? Like, I understand, you know, like you need to live with the dogs. Like, if they bite your kids, if they kill your kid, that's fine. You know, in Romania, that's acceptable. But now we can't even have fireworks because like the dogs get spooked. Like, shut the fuck up. Maybe the dogs would do it if the fireworks weren't there. No, like, look, there was like this case. I forgot if it was this year or the last year, right? But like this kid lived in a rural village and he went to the Pivi because, yeah, in Romania, like there are villages that still don't have sewer systems. So he had a Pivi, you know, like he had to go into an outhouse and shit. And as he goes to the outhouse, there's a pack of stray dogs and they attack him. And the father, like, found pieces of the boy, like, very harrowing. Like, you would think an experience like that would finally convince the country to go at, okay, how does the European Union deal with their dog problem? Why can't we have that here? You know, like, why can't we import the way Germany or France or the United Kingdom deal with stray dogs and have it in Romania? Right? I'm not asking for, like, new solutions. I'm not asking for, like, out-of-the-box thinking. I'm saying, like, just import the stuff that already exists. Is that the dog equivalent of toxoplasmosis? Yeah, they have their own parasites. I think like you can get a liver cyst, which is deadly. But anyway, the thing is, like, I'm not worried about the dog. Well, oh yeah, the equivalent of the dog's toxoplasmosis is called rabies, right? Like that's another thing. Like. Rabies is a really fucked up way to go as well. Like, it's one of the worst way to go. Are they stray pit bulls? No, they're just stray dogs. But like, if you're, so let me show you. It's kind of like this, right? Like, they're literally on the street. Hold on. Chotomate. Chotomate intensifies. Up. Almost there. There we go. Right? So they're literally like just on the street. They have no massa. They have no massa. And like, look, this is Romania, right? This is the capital fucking city. This is not normal. Like, I don't know where you're from. I don't know if you have stuff like this, but it's not cool. It's not normal. And a lot of people, like yeah, see, this is the problem. Right here, like this right here, the problem. During the day, they're actually nice, right? So, like, during the day, you can go, you can pet them, you can go, like, oh, look, Wolfie, you know, so... Oh, look, another problem. Like, this right here is the problem. These people, in my opinion, should be in prison. Like, literally. They should be in prison for feeding the stray dogs. Why? Because the stray dogs are biting and they're hurting other people. So what happens is, like, you have, like, these individuals, right? They feed the dogs next to apartment buildings, next to public parks, like, next to places that are frequent. And during the day, they're nice. But during the night, the predatory instinct of the animal activates. And that's when they start attacking people and biting people. It's just, oh, I dislike this phenomenon so fucking much. They look cute. Yeah, it's not fucking cute when it's mauling your ass. Like, do you understand? Like, being able to fend off against one dog, like, that's doable. But, like, having a pack surround you, at the moment your back is turned, like, one is biting you, that's not cool. And if you're a kid, then, well, press F, I guess. We have dog catchers that gain donations from stopping this many companies donate. Oh no, like if you have a dog catcher in Romania, you're going to have the cats come out with a stick and smash their car and stuff. Like, I have seen it happen. Like, rarely do you see women being violent, but like when the dog catcher appears to go after the dogs, all of a sudden they materialize. If Romania had guns, like what do you, like, okay, so do you honestly think like someone would go with an AR-15 and just open fire on the puppies? Like, what do you honestly think? It's like, if you have gun, you can, like, if you want to hurt them, you can have pepper spray, right? Like, that's, you can use it in self-defense. I would have to check the legality of it. I think it's legal in Romania. I think you can have like pepper spray, right? So like, okay, the dog comes to you, you go pss, 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 and that's it. But like, I shouldn't have to do that. Like my life shouldn't be in danger if I travel certain streets in my town. I'm from Bulgaria. I used to feed dogs on the street as a kid. Well, you should have been arrested, Martin. I'm sorry, but like I am not changing my mind just because you are a subscriber of mine. In fact, I'm getting even more harsher. I wonder like if you can tase them. I think you can tase them, but like again, self-defense, right? Like that happens in a town close to me. No one found the culprit. Yeah, well, it is what it is. If you're letting your toddler roam... this is another one. Like, if you're letting your toddler roam at night... There was this case where the grandma went with the kid in the park. Right now, if you have kids, you can't literally be Big Brother. You can't supervise them 24 fucking 7. Like, you can't be God. Like, this omniscient force around your child, right? So the grandma goes in the park, and the kid, like, manages to run away from grandma and gets mauled by dogs in the fucking park, right? So it's not about, like, the night. And it was like, you know, obviously, you know, you can say, well, the education, the grandma, it's like, okay, fine. But the dogs as well. Like, I think the dog problem is also a problem. Your dog catchers don't make rescue videos to market themselves. Oh, probably, you know, like that. But, like, most people don't use social media. Like, the cats here don't use social media. So, like, I don't think the dog catchers can... really influence people by marketing themselves. In the Netherlands, we now have wolves. Oh, fucking hell. Do you know in Canada they have bears? Like, this blew my mind when Short Fat Otaku told me. Like, apparently, you can walk on the streets of Canada and there's a fucking bear coming your way. And I was like, okay, so what do people do? Oh, they just cross the street. So, like, okay, so you like, have bears in the city? Yes. I mean, can you imagine just how fucking annoying it is to wake up in the morning with your trash can being tilted and like a bear went through the trash? That's just... But like, that happens in Australia as well with raccoons, I guess. Oh yeah, wild pigs are definitely worse. Not worse than bears though. Like, I would rather have to deal with a wild boar than with a bear. Bears are some of the worst fucking animals on the planet. Like, they don't even have the guts, well, they don't even have the courtesy to kill their prey before eating it. Like, they literally eat things alive. It's horrible. You can walk the streets of certain mountain region, Romanian city, and encounter bears too. They also check for... Yeah, I'm aware of that. I guess, like, if you're in that place, then having a dog is understandable. Like... You really don't want to be defenseless if a bear pops up. There's bears in California, yeah? There's a lot of homeless people in California, yeah. How do they deal with the bears? Bears are the second worst. The first worst is a pit bull. No, dude. Like, you have a chance against a pit bull. What the fuck are you saying? Like, the pit bull is something that you can control. Right? Like, if you know it's coming, like, you got ways to defend yourself against the pit bull. You know, you get a big stick or something, and, you know, you got a better chance. You take your jacket, you wrap it around the arm, it's going to hurt, but you're not going to die. However, if you get with a bear, like, no, you're dead. Like, if the bear wants to fuck you up, you're fucked up. Like, there's nothing else to say. Feed the bears with the homeless? Oh, Jesus. There are also mountain lions. Well, at least the mountain lions, it's in the fucking name, right? It's in the mountains. Like, stay away from the mountains and you're fine. Bears can run 30 miles per hour. There's nothing you can do. No, they can climb as well. Like, if a bear... Okay, so, if you're face to face with a bear, like, let's say you're walking through the woods and all of a sudden you encounter it, right? And the bear is hungry or the bear wants to fuck you out, you're dead. Like, unless you have some defensive equipment, unless you have, like, some bear spray or a gun or anything that remotely gives you a chance of... You're dead. There's nothing you can do. You know, it's over. There's many tourists that died that way. Like you have people that went camping in the woods and then the bear entered the tent. It's not pleasant. So today while napping, I had a dream that I crossed baby bears and the mama bear started following. Yeah. So like if you find them when they're hungry, if you're going on their territory when they're in heat, or you find the mama bear with cubs, you're fucked. Not all bears will chase you up a tree. I mean, look, obviously, you know, like, you should try it. Like you can't outrun it. Might as well climb the fucking tree and hope it's not going to go up. But, like, it's risky. Like, you don't want to be in that position. There was a kid eaten by an alligator at Disney, and even if you're not in the mountain, coyotes are pretty much... Wait, there was a kid eaten by an alligator at Disney? Like, that's something that I did. Why is there an alligator at Disney? Holy shit. Anyway, right. Let me show you some interesting news. I got something for you guys. Got something for you. Romanian delegation arrived in Moldova in a stolen fucking car. Hold on. Romanian delegation. Stolen car. This is alright. So, EU country's official caught in a stolen car. I need to check to see if this is legit, because I just saw the news, but I didn't really look into it. Like, literally before starting the stream, someone gave me this article, and I was, no. No. Oh, God. So, Romanian government delegation headed to Moldova on an official visit had one of their cars confiscated after a border check revealed it had been reported stolen in Italy over a decade ago. Its current owner is the very agency in charge of overseeing the integration of national databases with the EU and international ones. The car whose main model was not specified is registered to the Romanian Digitalization Authority. And apparently it was used by the government. Moldova border guards checked the Interpol database and saw that the car had been reported stolen in Italy in 2010, according to the Hungarian news agency MTI, Romanian news outlet. Romanian records show that the vehicle had changed hands several times until it was bought by the government. The Romanian tax authority then gave it to the Ministry of Telecommunications. So basically, like, what ended up happening, like, this is fucking hilarious, right? So, someone stole the car from Italy, and then they sold the car in Romania, and then the person buying it couldn't pay taxes, so, like, the government seized the car, and then it exchanged hands until it actually ended up driven by the Romanian delegation. I mean... This is a subject for a good movie, right? That doesn't help with the stereotypes, I'll tell you that. My fucking god, I'm still getting messages from people that are playing with the bot that I made, the one with Kyle Rittenhouse crossing. And like, I don't get it, like, everyone is telling me, oh my god, V, I managed to stop Kyle from crossing. Like, how? I destroyed the state line. And I'm like, motherfucker, that was my idea, okay? Like, I said it in the video. Like, if you're going to find, like, some alternative way of removing the state line, that doesn't fucking count, because I gave you that. Find something your own. Like, figure out your own way to stop him from crossing. Ugh. Grand Theft Auto Romania. Mission switch to delegates cars for stolen car, yeah. What I do wonder, though, is, like, how the fuck did they return it to the country? Right? Because if you go into a car Like you travel to Moldavia by car, and then they seize your car. Like how do you return? And not to mention like the border guard, like fucking with the diplomats. That's also interesting. Like you know they're on a diplomatic mission representing the Romanian government, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to confiscate their car because why not? It's stolen. If your politicians roam around with a plus 10-year cars, they are not that corrupt. Well, they weren't politicians. They were like civil servants, and they weren't that important, right? Like they had like a, but then again, like they don't say the model of the car. Like maybe it's a Ferrari or some shit. They just mentioned that it's stolen. So maybe it is something really important. I'm actually surprised that you mentioned it. They have diplomatic immunity. Yeah, but like diplomatic immunity prevents you from getting arrested. Prevents you from getting searched. But like if you're literally in a stolen fucking vehicle. Alright, like let me put it this way. If you're a diplomat and you're carrying an AK-47, right? Like literally you walk into the airport and you have like this big AK-47 strapped to you. They're going to confiscate that. Like, they're not going to imprison you, right? Because you got diplomatic immunity. But they're going to take your rifle away. If you have la cocaína, you know, and you're like, yeah, right? Like, they're not going to tell you anything about it. They're not going to detain you, but they're going to take the cocaína away. So this is what happened. And then they're going to kick you out of the country, of course. Like, sure, you got diplomatic immunity. Yes, that is true. Now, fuck off. The Moldavians not like Romania. Yeah, I mean, Moldavians like Romanians. We have good relationships. But like, if you walk in with a stolen car, well, apparently they have to enforce the law. If you're a military servant in the 80s, driving a military truck with direct orders from a general, even if you didn't have a driver's license, they would just let you go. I don't know. I mean, okay, first of all, who the fuck stops a military vehicle to look at the driving license? Right? Like that's the thing. Like, who checks the driving license of a soldier? I mean, like, even the cops don't fuck with that. It's the same with an ambulance driver, right? Like, who's going to stop the ambulance driver in order to check his driving license? I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's highly unlikely, right? Like, if I was a cop, and I see like a military vehicle, I see a fucking tank, I don't stop the tank and ask like the guy inside like, hey, can you open the hatch? We need to talk. Like, can you show me a driving license for the tank? That's actually a good question. Do they even have like driving licenses for tanks? I don't think they do. I think like you just roll with it. They can't imprison you, but they can send you back to your home butt naked. As long as you're alive, unless it's a diplomatic bag. And those are special bags. Yeah, like from what I understand, diplomats can't be frisked, right? But you can seize shit from them. Like, you can seize their stuff. But the thing is, like, if you fuck with a diplomat, you worsen the relationships with that country. But like, there are certain cases where, like, the diplomat is really a tard. And within that, like, it's understandable. Like, for example, if the Romanian diplomat in Saudi Arabia would be caught with booze, right? Like, he's got alcohol, and he's eating pork in front of a mosque, and the Saudi Arabian decides to send him back home butt naked, right? Like, the Romanians aren't going to worsen the relationships with Saudi Arabia. They're just going to say, well, okay, well, we're sorry, we apologize. Apparently, he was a cretin. Like, next time we're going to send someone better. Apparently you need a license. Oh, so in Britain you need a license to drive a tank. Holy shit, I didn't know that. Do you need a license to fly a jet? Like, that's another question. Like, actually, yeah, like, how can you verify if the person has a license to fly the jet plane? You know, that's... Alright. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. This is beautiful. Holy shit. I don't know, like this is so beautiful on so many fucking levels, chat, that I don't even know what to say. Like, look at this. Are you ready? Are you ready? Look. I love his face as well. In this situation, like I imagine his face when saying this. Like this is a. If the Young Turks had more money now, I'd throw the biggest drag queen party of all time. You're a millionaire, all right? Like, you're a millionaire, chick. Use your own money. It's not that expensive. Do it. Do it. I want you to do it. Do it, Cenk. You know what? I will crowdfund for you, Cenk. I did not get any donations this stream. But I am willing to bet, like, everyone here will donate if you do it. If you start your own drag queens party, Cenk, I will get every person here in the chat, 144 viewers, every single one of them will donate at least $1. I guarantee to you. I guarantee to you. I want to see Cenk Uygur organize a drag kids queen story hour. Like, I want that. You do not know how much I want that in my life. Is he implying that he would invite children? Well, I don't know. The actors are really manipulative. Like, they pretend that they don't know what it's about, right? Like, they pretend that people are against drag queens. Like, that's not the fucking case. Like, drag queen existed at least since the 90s, right? Like, probably even before. No one had a problem with them. Literally, no one gives a shit. The only thing that people care about is, like, when children are in the presence. Because it's an adult thing. It's like having children at a strip club. You know, like, you can say, oh yeah, but like strip dancing is like, pole dancing is an athletic sport and it's performative and blah. No one is going to buy that shit. It's an adult thing. And yes, like, pole dancing is actually difficult to do. Alright, like, there are actual pole dancing competitions. You need a lot of leg muscles to pull it out. It's an art form. It can be very beautiful. I get that, right? However, it's not a place for children. And by the way, like, what did drag queens ever do to these people that they trust them so much? This is what I don't understand. Like, what did a drag queen ever do to Cenk Uygur that they managed to gain the trust of the drag queens so fucking... They're not... by the way, drag queens, from what I know, are not even LGBT. Like, it's a performance, right? It's kind of like blackfacing, but for gender. Like you do like the exaggerated characteristics of what the stereotypical feminine gender is supposed to be like, right? Like, it's not even like part of the LGBT community. It's more like a performative thing, like an actor, right? So I do not understand why this is the hill they love so much, to the point where they kick off Shuanhead from the prestigious leftist community. Ugh. No one cared who I was until I put on the makeup. That actually should be a line. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Harry Potter remake. Harry Potter remake. It's coming, isn't it? Right? Like, there's rumors of it. Harry Potter remake. Why not? I mean, look, it's part of the I guess they would call it the woke social engineering, right? Like, they missed something. Like, they thoroughly fucked with every IP from my childhood. To the point where they're like, okay, well, what's next? Oh, Harry Potter. You know, let's see. What else didn't they fuck with? SWAT Cats? Like, SWAT Cats is probably going to get a remake, a reimagining at some point. It's going to be drawn like Cal arts, like California arts. It's going to be kind of like just filled with furries. Every character is going to be like some sort of sexual minority, and most importantly, it's not going to be with action, right? It's just going to be like with humor. Like they're just going to make jokes after jokes. Like I can see that, right? What else did they miss from my childhood? Tom and Jerry. I'm really surprised they're not fucking with Tom and Jerry. Well, thank you, Subject to Change. I really appreciate it. First super chat of the day. It makes me feel very happy. Subject to Change, just saved the day. Look, Kydra Kai is happy now. Who keeps buzzing me? Please stop. You know what like this is something that really baffles my brain. Why didn't they remake Captain Planet? Like, that's literally their fucking shit. Like, Captain Planet, right? Like, let's see, it had diversity before it was cool. Like, literally all the Planeteers are representing some diverse background, right? Like, you got Wheeler from America, Kwani from Africa. I love the thing that they say Kwani from Africa. Like, they don't even bother giving the country, right? Like, it doesn't even matter where the fuck he is from. He's from Africa, motherfucker, you know? He's from the continent, right? Like, Kwani isn't from Zimbabwe. He's not from South Africa. No. From Africa, Kwani, with the power of Earth. Okay, so you got Kwani, you got Wheeler. Well, Guy was from, like, Southern Asia, right? Like, again, like, Guy is not Japanese or Korea. Like, she's just, like, anime chica. You got Mati. Mati is from India. Like, at least so the only people... Oh, and Linka from the Soviet Union. Okay, so the only people that we actually know where they're from is Linka, Mati, and Wheeler. Like, these are the only 3 Planeteers that we know where they're actually from. The other ones you don't know. It's like from a continent. You can use your imagination. You can feel the lore. Kwani is from Africa. Well, like, Africa is a fucking continent, man. No, she was. I mean, she could be Chinese. She never ni hao throughout the entire thing. Like, it's implied that she may be Chinese, but she could be Japanese. She could be very well South Korean. Like, she could have been anything. Mark Dice does the best Captain Planet parody. Oh yeah, I know. I seen it. It is really good. Holy shit. Can you imagine if instead of Mati, you have Greta Thunberg? Well, Happy New Year's to you, Lungrex. You're forgetting that all the villains were old white men. No, that's not true. They had, like, Dr. Blight. So, Dr. Blight was, a beautiful woman, right? I guess. They had that rat guy. I don't know, like, what ethnicity the rat guy was. They also had, like, the radiation guy. The radiation guy, you know, like, I guess he wasn't even human. But yeah, like, you don't really have a black person or a guy from the Soviet Union that's a villain. You know what? I'm actually going to check if there's any people of color that are villains in Captain. So Captain Planet villain. Apparently, initially, like, they wanted the villains to look kind of like normal humans, but the parents got upset. So they were afraid that they would upset the parents. Do you know, by the way, like, they actually had Hitler as a character in Captain Planet, and apparently, like, just by being close to Hitler, Captain Planet was affected, like being polluted because his hatred was too much. You know, it was like polluting the heart. Okay, so you're fucking right, Chad. Now I get to see it. Literally, all the fucking villains are white. And this is like, what, from the 90s or the 80s? Except for this guy, like, Vermna Scum, we don't know how he looks like. He always carries, like, this face covering. So yeah, you got like, this is an American, right? Because, like, he's a capitalist, whatever. This one represents Dr. Blight, like, she represents, science, you know, but science used unethically. This one was, I believe, like a salesperson. But like, yeah, but most of the villains are capitalists in one way or another, right? So like the unrestrained science from capitalism, the greed of capitalism as well. This guy, I don't know what the fuck he represented. I think he was just doing things with toxicity and shit. I think it's like the toxic waste that comes from capitalism, right? So like when you have a big city and it just gives poison and stuff. Then there was this guy, right? Because again, like nuclear power, bad, right? Back then, like fucking hell. And yeah, like the heroes, they're the ones that have diversity and stuff. Verminous scum. He is literally the only one that you can say he's not white. So I don't know why they don't remake that. Like, I genuinely don't know why they don't make a Captain Planet remake. It would actually fit with all of their agenda. Like, they could literally just push the message. And no one would be upset because it's like, hey, well, that's the fucking show. Oh, he represents covetousness. I see. A lot of people on 4chan thought that, well, I don't even know if I can say it. It's YouTube. Maybe I should stream on Odyssey. Maybe I can say, yeah, they said that covetous is an elf. Let's put it like that. Hollywood diversity team working on it as you speak. I'm actually curious if they are making a Captain Planet remake. The problem is, like, Captain Planet remake would actually look worse. You know, like, say whatever you want. Say whatever you want about the old cartoons, right? But they look well drawn. I mean, they look much better than anything that would come out today, right? Like, compare this with Cal Arts. Captain Planet looks fucking good. I mean, look at the difference, right? Like, look at the difference. The art style from here versus this. Right? It's just like, why are her eyes bulging and stuff? Like, this looks a lot better. And again, like, this is from the 90s. I mean, or the 80s. Yeah, the old anime, all the old, you know, like I was when I was a kid. Holy shit. When I was a kid, I was like looking at cool cartoons, you know, like SWAT Cats and Biker Mice from Mars. And I was thinking, like, man, you know, these cartoons, they look so good. I'm really curious, like, how the cartoons of the future would look like. I'm really curious, like, 30 years down the line, and then you get Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls. And by the way, like, Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls, you know, they're classics, like, people like them. But the art style is, come the fuck on. Like, the art style is garbage. And then the art style just went down from there. Well, thank you, Zenith. I really appreciate it. I like that you gave me a 2023. Hand-drawn 80s and 90s animation is the greatest of all time. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely fucking right. I can't argue with that. But, like, even today, like, you can still... like, I mean, the anime exists, right? Like, they can still do it. Dexter Laboratory was awesome. True, the art is bad, but the show was funny. No, I get it. Like, the show was good. I'm not saying that Dexter's Lab was bad. I'm saying the artwork is lazy. Like, it's the McDonald's of artwork. Like, cheap, easy to reproduce. It's garbage. Anyway, right. Let's let's address one more thing that really pisses me the fuck off. Oh, finally, someone... Oh my god. So... I am sick and fucking tired of the pizza story. This is like... You need to be a person that cannot form a fucking synapse with two neurons that you rub together in order to believe that the Romanian authorities arrested Tate because of the pizza. Okay, first of all, as I mentioned before, like, he already showed a video that he's in Romania. Secondly, he came to Romania legally, okay? Like, he crossed the border. We are not that backwards that we do not understand how technology works. Like, when you go into Romania, they scan your passport or your ID, depending on what you have, and you're in a database for the duration of your fucking stay. Right? And the database is connected with international organizations. So, like, if anyone from the European Union wants to see, all right, where is this guy? Right? Especially if you're a rich person. Where is this guy? They have a database and it shows them he's in fucking Romania. Like, the authorities do not need to play Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine to knock their jug, and it's like, oh, well, he posted on Twitter the pizza, that. It's like such a fucking dumb thing that I'm astonished that people are like, oh yes, Greta got Andrew Tate into trouble. Oh, fuck off. She is so irrelevant. I genuinely do not believe how people can... How can she manipulate people like that? How can they be so fucking dumb to literally think it's like, oh yeah, like, Greta managed to get Andrew Tate in trouble because of the pizza, ha ha ha. The guy wasn't even on the lam. Like, he wasn't even running from the authorities, right? Like, if he was hiding in a country, like, for example, I don't know. Is there even a famous criminal that's in hiding right now? Okay, if he was like Osama bin Laden, and he was hiding in a bunker somewhere, and, he went on a spat with Greta Thunberg, and he accidentally, like, showed something which could have linked him to the bunker, yeah, okay, fine, but, like, this is... And then readers added context they thought people might want to know. A spokesperson for Romania's anti-organized crime agency refuted widespread claims that authorities were tipped to the Tate's location by a pizza box. Tate posted that a response to a climate activist. Funny, but no. I mean, even the Romanian authorities do not want to push this nonsense. It makes them look fucking bad. It's like, oh, well, we need to get a criminal. I hope he posts something on social media. I hope he posts a pizza box or something. There's no way we can know where he is. Fucking hell. You're hiding in Thailand, yeah. Someone in Chad Logic's chat was calling you a gimp of Sargon. That is a shill for Romanian corruption. No joke. Okay, well, people on the internet call me bad names. Anyway, let's go with the topic for today, which is the video. Let me see, where the fuck did I save that? Give me a second, because I need to go on the Discord. Here we go. Discord is very important. I hope that the sound actually manages to work. Please work with me, sound. Please work with me. Oh shit, I didn't save the video. Oh fuck. What will I do now? How will I cope? I think I saved it, but I must have closed it by accident. So give me 5 minutes, and I shall bring it back. Did I predict that I predict the predictions? No, but I did say that at the end of the year, I'm going to go back through the predictions and I'm going to see how many of them were right and how many of them were wrong. And I think I did a really good job. Let's see. Here we go. I found the video.
Looking for royalty-free music?
I need to know how the sound is like, because I haven't tested it with this setup yet. Hold on.
Make a very different video today, and that is because I read on the New York Times that there are people who use cat videos in order to radicalize their users.
Alright. So, I need feedback on the video quality. Holy shit, SRC Maker, thank you for the 50. Happy New Year, V. Also, 2020 are going to be a lost decade. Financial analysts are predicting it won't get back to normal until 2031. Prediction for the rest of the 2020. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's echoing. Okay, let me try something. Hold on. Try this again. I want to radicalize you into awesomeness, and in order to do so, you're going to see cats this entire video. Now, yeah, so the New York Times, it's so interesting to listen to news that came out 1 year ago. The New York Times literally said that people are radicalizing individuals using cat videos, right? So like the thing was like you had like people on TikTok and other places like showing cat videos, and then putting a message within it, you know, like, do not trust Dr. Fauci. Like, the New York Times were spurging out because of it. It was so fucking hilarious, right? And I love this type of mimetics where when you call out what's happening, it makes you look like a fucking moron. It's like, well, people using cat videos in order to radicalize it. There is something that I've been asked by very few people, surprisingly. Why don't I show my face anymore? Why do you not get to see my visage on the screen? And last year, I had a webcam which broke. It was an old webcam, it did its job, and then it decided to die on me. So, this year, I got a couple of subscribers which gave me donations and I bought a new webcam. But this little devil right here chewed the webcam cable. Yeah, like a lot of people keep asking me, like, how many webcams do you go through? And the answer is a lot. Alright, so this cat ruined, I believe, at least 3 pair of headphones, at least 2 webcams, and it also ruined my VR headset, right? So now that I get webcams, I make sure they have a USB cable attached. But luckily, I just use my phone now for a webcam. So in the future, I might get a new one. It's kind of interesting that I ended up at the end of the year with literally the same problem that I had past year. No webcam. So I'm using my phone. But like, my phone is serviceable, right? Like, it's doing a good job. Yeah. All you have to do is to scare the cat. Shut the fuck up. Like, the problem isn't that it's not doing it when I'm in the room with it, right? Like, it waits for me to leave the room and then it does it. And yet again, I was left without a webcam. So I decided to just make videos without buying a new webcam, because it was getting ridiculous by this point. And no one noticed. Like, no one was complaining except very few people. And because of that, you know, I didn't show my face anymore. But maybe next year I can buy a new webcam and I'll be able to. It's really nice to see if people actually get their predictions fulfilled. So hold me accountable to this by the end of next year. And tell me, hey, you actually did a good job, or no, you actually predicted this and it was completely false. So let's start with the good predictions. If you're liberty oriented, like if you're valuing freedom more than safety, I have some good news for you. I think next year, most nations around the world are going to go back to the old normal. Like, the new normal is not here to stay. Most restrictions will be lifted. Things are slowly going to go back to the way they were. So I just want to point out that when I made this video, like at the time, when was this? I think it was like December, December 2021. People were being threatened that if they don't get vaccinated, they will lose their jobs. People were being threatened that if they don't get vaccinated, they may go to prison. Like, this was a thing in Austria, I believe. Like, they wanted to pass this law to be illegal for you to be a human being without having the Pfizer communion. This was the same in Like there was a similar problem in Italy. I believe like they wouldn't give pension to the elderly unless they got the vax. And you had still places with quarantines, and you had to show QR code to the waiter. And there were a lot of people on the internet freaking out saying that, oh my god, well, the new normal, digital ID, blah, blah, blah. I remember Computing Forever, like he was dooming and glooming. And I was like one of the few at the time that said, like, calm the fuck down. Things are not going to be the way you expect, right? Like, we're not going to go into the digital ID, cashless society dystopia, right? Like, that's not going to happen. Apparently, well, I was kind of right, and we'll see my entire argument, and you'll see how right I was.
And this is for pretty much everywhere in the world except a couple of nations. For example, Australia and Austria are a little bit weird, a little bit concerning. But when you look at Eastern Europe, when you look at places like Florida, when you look at other places around the world, I think we're going to see more of that rather than more of Australia. So by the end of next year, I think most of the restrictions will be lifted. I wrote an article in the Lotus Eaters where I justify my position and I explain why I think the way I do. So feel free to read it. It's going to be in the pinned comment section. You can go there and check it out. And you can see my reasoning for why I say this, because I know a lot of people are bewildered. A lot of people think that the new normal is never going to go away. But I think it does. Now,
it's actually, it went so much away that the word new normal isn't something that people even under... Yeah, echo, yeah, whatever. It went away to the point where the word new normal is barely uttered. I didn't think about China. Like, China actually caught me by surprise because China removed all of its restrictions very early and then went all the way back to like some super draconian level, which is even worse than Australia. So, yeah, like, China is the thing that I definitely could not predict. Seems the only reason these things didn't happen is because enough people, 10%, said no to getting vaccinated. No, that's not the case. There are countries that had almost 100% vaccination rate and they lifted restrictions. No, it was just... It wasn't just economically unfeasible to keep restrictions, but it was like people were starting to get pissed off. You know, like, you can control people as much as you can with social media for a couple of months, but like after that, like, there were like legitimate concerns that people are going to vote right-wing. Like, that was the main reason. Because, like, come next elections, like, they and you could see this, even in the United States, there was a politician which lifted restrictions, and then, like, behind closed doors, I think it was Project Veritas, like, went with the camera there, and was like, oh, well, we need restrictions, and the politician was like, oh, of course we're going to have it, but after the elections, like, we don't talk about them, we're going to talk about it after the elections. So yeah, definitely spot on this prediction. Regarding Australia, from what I understand, they still use digital ID now. And they still want to have QR codes. Like, someone needs to correct me, but that's like the last article that I read from that country. So, yeah, let's keep going. And I understand echo, yeah.
let's talk about some of the bad predictions. The bad predictions is that inflation is not going to go away. In fact, it's probably going to be worse. Almost everything is going to become more expensive. The gas prices are going to get worse, which will cause almost everything to get even more expensive. And the cost of living is going to go up, while the quality of living is going to go down.
So when I made this video, you had articles on the mainstream media saying that there is no such thing as inflation, it's a far-right conspiracy theory, the price of gas isn't going to go up, because Biden has released his gas reserves, right? Like, these were the arguments. So, watching this video now, you know, like, it seems that I'm not making any sensible predictions, right? Like, it's like, kind of like, duh. But at the time, like, if you were a normie and you were reading mainstream media, it seemed like, yeah, like, the new normal is there to stay. It seemed that there is no such thing as inflation. I believe, like, they were saying that inflation is, like, a single digit. And they were saying that gas isn't going to go up, right? So they started with, like, it's not happening, it's a far-right conspiracy theory. Then they were saying, oh yeah, it does happen a little bit, but it's no problem. And then it is happening, and this is why it's a good thing. That was a prediction that's almost always true in Germany. Prices always go up. Yeah, but it's not like prices went a little bit up, right? Like, prices exploded, man. Like, I think I'm paying at least 50% more on the groceries that I'm doing. Like, I'm buying the same things, and I have to pay half extra for the things that I buy. So, yeah, it is what it is. And this is going to happen almost everywhere around the world. So, this is not such a good prediction, but I don't think a lot of people are surprised by this. And I think it's just going to get really bad next year. I don't understand those fucking commercials, man. Like, if I make a video like that, instant demonetization. But like, for some goddamn reason, I get to see those phone app games, and I'm willing to bet that the game itself has nothing to do with what's being shown there. That's another prediction from me, alright? I don't know who made the game, I don't know what game it is, but I'm willing to bet it's got nothing to do with the things that are being shown on the fucking screen. Other than that, I think censorship is going to happen next year. I think with the elections, you're going to see even more censorship, and not just of naughty words, but censorship of ideas, of concepts. You're going to see social media using the ban hammer a lot more than it has in the past. And I also think that in the United States, you might not see a red wave, but I definitely think that the Republicans are going to get control over most of the Yeah, so first of all, I did not anticipate that Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter, so we're actually going to see less censorship. However, we do know that the government was collaborating with social media to censor. And you can see my prediction on the election, right? Like I said, it's not going to be a red wave. And I did say that the Republicans are going to gain control. But I wasn't as hyped up as other political commentators, like Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. You know, he usually makes good predictions, but he was wrong on this one. Sargon of Akkad, many others, right? Like they say, oh, well, it's going to be a red wave. They're going to sweep the entire... No, I was a lot more reserved, and I said, yeah, I mean, the Republicans are going to win, but it's not going to be that good. So, I was right about that. About the censorship, yeah, I mean, that wasn't something that was correct, because now there is less censorship, right? Like, ever since Elon Musk bought Twitter, now you can go on Twitter, you can express yourself. Dare I say, misgendering people is not punishable, so it is what it is. Thank you for wishing me a Happy New Year, Grimlock, and Happy New Year's to you as well. There is more censorship everywhere else. Well, I don't know. I mean, is there... okay, so every year there's more censorship than everywhere else, but we haven't seen like a Hunter laptop Biden incident, right? Like that was the peak censorship, where you have like a newspaper, a prestigious newspaper getting banned. Although, you know, like maybe you can say that there is more censorship on Twitter because now the far left is getting censored. So you had the corporate journalists getting censored. Yeah, nobody saw Elon buying Twitter. Yeah, I gotta say, you know, like I make predictions, but I'm not Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I don't have a crystal ball.
Obstructionism during Obama years, and they're going to do obstructionism now.
I don't expect them to pass any meaningful legislation or to do anything. Yeah, so this is what I said about the Republicans. I said that the only thing they're going to do is obstructionism, and they're not going to do anything else.
that's surprising. No, they're just going to obstruct. I guess we're going to see the red version of #resist. And that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not expecting any surprises. I'm not expecting anything outside the normal. Now, regarding international affairs, I find it highly unlikely that we're going to witness any major conflict.
Yeah, okay. This one was not good. This one, my bad. You know, look, I got 4 out of 5. I'm happy. Like 4 out of 5. That's a good statistic. I should have put this in the middle. It's not good to put it at the end or at the beginning, because like it kind of ruins your vibe. But I done goofed.
I definitely do not think that Russia is going to get into Ukraine.
My bad, chat. My bad. Alright, like, my bad. Look, it happens. It happens to the best of us. I should have saw the signs. My bad.
The only exception, which, again, it is very unlikely that will happen, is if China goes into Taiwan. If that happens, then Russia will go into Ukraine. But I don't think either of these things are going to happen. Most people believe that China will get into to Taiwan because President Xi wants a distraction. There's a lot of people that talk about again.
Yeah, I guess they didn't go into Taiwan. Instead, they went against their people with the lockdowns and shit. See, like, that is something that is so fucking evil. I myself didn't think about it. It's like, okay, well, they're not going into Taiwan. Like, you know, President Xi needs a distraction. What is he going to do? Oh, yeah, zero policy COVID. Lock everything down. Lock people in their houses. Okay, that is something that I didn't think about.
Against him, and there's voices within the Communist Party that are against Chairman Xi. Here's the thing. Chairman Xi is incredibly popular despite all of the negatives. He is very popular because of the win he scored with Hong Kong. A lot of people don't remember that. And he is very popular over the way he handled the pandemic. And most people do know that the World Health Organization and the Chinese government are doing their best in order to help the world go through this very difficult time. So, believe it or not, Chairman Xi is actually popular in China right now. He doesn't need to go into Taiwan in order to see if he can get more popularity. Especially...
Well, you know, at least I got that right. I mean, China never went into Taiwan. It was a possibility because at the time... they were constantly violating Taiwanese airspace. The tensions were very high. But apparently they didn't go to war, so I did make that prediction. I failed with the Russian front, though. Evening V, thank you for all your great content the past year. And the limitless buyer's remorse. Well, the buyer's remorse is indeed limitless. You can get as much as you want. Yeah, China did attack China. That is correct. Hey, the world politics is 1 out of 2, man. Like, China didn't go into Taiwan. I said it's very unlikely, and I was right. You know what? Like, that is a fucking good idea. I should have edited the video and removed the last part. Why did I think about that?
Because, you know, all these nations that are trying these things, you know, they're like, Russia is going next to Ukraine, and China is saber-rattling. The reason they're doing this is because of what happened in Afghanistan with the United States. So they just want to see how much they can push the boundaries. They just want to see what the new boundaries are and how the United States will react.
Yeah, I don't think that is probably the main reason why Russia went into Ukraine. After seeing the fuck up in the US. I mean, that was an embarrassment at an international scale. Like, pulling out of Afghanistan was indeed a smart move, but the way they did the retreat was unthinkable. Like, what type of strategist thought, hey, you know, like, first we've dropped the military, right? And then we take all the guns and weapons away, and then we evacuate the civilians. Like, who was in charge of that operation? And by the way, the only person that got punished for the Afghanistan shit was a soldier that complained about it on TikTok. Like, he is probably like the only person in the US military that was held accountable in any way regarding Afghanistan. Does the US even have sky dominance? Yeah, I think they do. The thing that I believe happened, okay, so Donald Trump made a deal with the Taliban, and they set a time period for the withdrawal, right? So basically they could have withdrawn and nothing would have happened, right? Like they could have done an orderly withdrawal. But Biden wanted to change the date to coincide with something. I think it was like to coincide with 9/11 or to coincide with the date that they went into Afghanistan. He wanted to have like this symbolic victory. The problem is like when you do negotiations with countries like in the Middle East, right? Like they're very honor based. Like the thing is like when you negotiate with the Taliban, right? The leader has to then talk to his people, like his officers and his underlings. And he needs to act like a strong individual. Like he needs to show that, you know, he has the shit under control. So, like, if he says, okay, well, the Americans will retreat on this particular day, then it has to be that fucking particular day. Otherwise, he loses face, right? So if he loses face, then he has to show a display of strength. That's probably what happened. Yeah, like literally Biden spat on the face of the tribes. You don't do that. Right? Like that's not, you know, you can do that in the West. Like in the West there is one mentality, but when you deal with authoritarian nations, whether they're the Middle East or, you know, a dictatorship in Africa or whatever, honor is very important. Like the leader needs to show that he is in charge. Like he needs to show that he is daddy. If the leader doesn't act like daddy, then he risks having rebellions in his country. He risks people turning against him. So yeah. The US has armed the Taliban before I saw Rambo 3. I assure you, Russia isn't going to Afghanistan now. They have a lot. I don't think like Russia needs to be in Afghanistan. Why would Russia even want Afghanistan at this point? Ukraine is our greatest ally. Well, the thing with like Ukraine is that it's a buffer state so that the conflict doesn't expand. I think like there is a U.S. senator, the one that doesn't have an eye, Kreshaw. Yeah. I mean, he said, I think it was him, right? But he said the quiet thing out loud. It's like the reason we're helping Ukraine is so that American soldiers don't die. Like literally, that's cynical. It's like it's so Ukrainians die rather than American citizens. That's literally it, right? The thing with Ukraine is that Putin, when he took Crimea, there was no repercussion against him. So appeasement was tried. Like the European nations, you know, they had some sanctions, but no one really applied them. So like Putin took Crimea, he saw that nothing bad happens, and then he was going to take Ukraine. There was even this post on one of the Russian propaganda outlets, which was immediately deleted. But like 2 days after the invasion, there was like a victory article. And in the victory article, they were talking about how they want to create the original Russia, like to remake the Russian Empire. And if you listen to, I guess, Dugin and other political thinkers in Russia, like, yeah, that was kind of the ambition. So, like, you tried appeasement, didn't fucking work. And now they're trying to actually fund Ukraine so that it can go against Russia. I'm telling you this, though. Like, if you're an Ukrainian, after the war, you may have a couple of surprises. Like, you may realize that your nation's economy is kind of owned by all the countries that helped you out. So it's very likely that you're going to see American banks and businesses there, German banks and businesses, Polish banks and businesses. I wonder if there's going to be like a single Ukrainian store in 20 years after the war is won. So yeah, that's the thing with Ukraine. What was the difference the day before Russia to Crimea and the day after? I don't understand. If you're meaning like from the perspective on the ground, like I'll tell you one of the reasons that the Ukrainians were pissed off. The current president, right? he got a lot of money from the European Union, and he didn't invest them into Eastern Ukraine like the previous ones, because the Eastern Ukraine is the part that's more developed, is due to them neighboring Poland. And there's a lot of Polish businessmen and Polish entrepreneurs that go there and create jobs and businesses. He invested them into Western Ukraine. And if you're a Ukrainian, and you look over the border to Russia, and you see all the abject poverty, right? And you see the Russians coming there to liberate you, you're like, what, to do what? Right? Like, for Ukrainians, especially the Western ones, like, they could see their standard of living increasing day after day. And it was due to European Union money. Now, I'm not saying that the EU is, the empire of good, like Guy Verhofstadt likes to say. But if you're in a country like Ukraine, you're in a country that is struggling and people don't have sewage and electricity, well, all of a sudden managing to have a sewer in your village, and now you own a car, well, a lot of people are going to be thankful for it. That's why the pro-EU sentiment is quite high in Eastern Europe. But as Eastern Europe starts developing itself, and I think like Romania had its economy increased by 800% since it joined the EU, the sentiment starts to lower, right? Because the moment people have money, well, they want freedom, they want liberty, right? They don't want to be under the constant boot of some bureaucrats at Brussels. But Ukraine doesn't experience that, like they just want their standards of living to go up. I mean, if you look at the most popular videos in Ukraine on TikTok, it's literally videos where people walk through Poland, right? So like, and there's two reasons for that. First of all, it's because they're their neighbors. But secondly, it's due to the fact that the Ukrainian language and the Polish language is very similar to one another. So they would just look at, people walking through Poland and showing the cities and all of that. That was the most popular thing in Ukraine. And they want that, like they go, well, Poland is in the EU, we want to be there as well. I don't think Ukraine gets diversity as who the fuck wants to live in Ukraine, man? Like, would you emigrate? Like, who wants to emigrate to Ukraine? Anywho. And by the way, about the Azov battalion, yes, they're bad, but like, the way foreign diplomacy works, right? You don't see the United States calling Pakistan for anti-Semitism, right? You don't see the United States calling out Saudi Arabia for their treatment of LGBT people. Like, this is fucking consistent. Like, you have these woke nations, like the woke West, it champions diversity, but you don't see diversity officers in China. Like, this is normal international politics. Like, every single fucking time the US has a close ally, they do not call anything wrong with that, right? Like, they do not call the problem. I mean, the US is more than happy to talk shit about Iran, right? To see all the problems in Iran, but it's not going to talk shit about Saudi Arabia. It's literally how it works. Because they don't fucking care. Like, the only reason they care about these divisive issues is to push the ideology in their own country, right? It's to demoralize the opponents. But they don't really care about, predictions for 2023. It's kind of hard, because at the moment, there's no... I guess, like, Transnistria, if you care about, like, the local geography, I still believe that Transnistria will cease to exist. Probably it's going to go to Ukraine. I think that there may be a regime fall in Iran. I think, like, the Iranian regime might collapse. That's my 2023 major prediction. Kind of it. Like, I can't think of anything else that's major. Yeah, I'm predicting a revolution in Iran, yes. I think it will happen next year. Because the government went overboard. It's so fucking desperate. It started murdering people. Like, last time I checked, there were over 1,000 revolutionaries that the government signed an execution order for. Like, when the government gets that fucking desperate, then you know that tensions are high, let's put it like that. And all the people that the government assassinated, pretty much, they have families, they have friends, they don't forget that shit. So yes, now I don't think Elon Musk is going to get Canadian healthcare. But other than that, I generally like don't know what else to predict. I think like Germany is going to become even more pro-Russian, because like the Germans are now in a very difficult spot from the energy sector, so they're going to actually surprisingly become even more green and more co-opted by Russia. Elon Musk will not be CEO of Twitter by the end of next year. I mean, he said that he doesn't want to be. He's got other companies to take care of. He's probably going to put a yes man in charge. He's going to put someone that the media likes. I think it's going to either be a YouTuber, like a popular person like Mr. Beast, someone like that. Or it's going to be a businessman. Right, it's not going to be someone that's political, like a person affiliated with the Republicans or something like that. Yeah, it's not going to be like that. Germany will definitely burn coal. Germany is burning coal right now. Like, Germany is burning coal right now. Like, they locked their own mines, right? Like, they banned their own coal production, but they're importing coal from China, from India, right? Like, there are places in Germany where they're burning Indian coal. So, yeah, Germany will definitely burn coal. Germany is burning wood. Germany is burning coal. Like, they don't give a shit. Germany thinks that natural gas is green. I mean, it's the upside fucking down, but what can you do? Thank you for the $5, Barb Rogers. I appreciate that. Will the anti-ESG funds grow? I don't know. I can't predict that. Germany is burning lignite, which is worse than coal. I don't know what the anti-ESG funds are, but I do think that we're going to actually see more movies that are either new, so not a sequel or a prequel, but like movies that are original concepts, and we're going to see less woke shit. I predict like next year we might actually even see a movie that makes fun of woke culture, because the gravy train has stopped, and even the investors at Disney are concerned. So I will be very shocked if by the end of next year nothing changes in the entertainment industry. I mean, I see Marvel trying to do fan service. Like, let that sink fucking in. Marvel doing fan service. You'd never think you'd live the day. Will Germany mine their own coal? Absolutely fucking not. I do not think that they will ever do that. I'm not dyslexic. Or am I? Yeah, will John Wick 4 be good? I never liked John Wick. I mean, I like the concept of it, but like the fights are kind of boring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. I just think it's mediocre. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying it's not for me. Like, the action is kind of meh. I'm looking at the whole combat, like it's not a fluid take. Like, usually when you see a lot of editing in the combat, it means that the actors aren't skilled in fighting and stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. Will Avatar 3 be good? I don't think there's going to be an Avatar 3. I think this is the end of the series. I would be surprised if Avatar 3 gets greenlit. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would be surprised. Unless it's already greenlit. Like, that's the only exception, because I don't know. Like, if there's already a contract for it, and he's doing a trilogy, or he's using his own money, then sure. But I would be definitely surprised. Germany is investing in Polish coal mines. That makes sense. Like, literally everywhere not in their backyard. Right? Because like the Green Party can say, oh look, like here in Germany we have rules against pollution, blah blah blah. We close the mines. Like there's no more coal. The German workers are safe from their labor, and then they get coal from literally anywhere besides Germany. Will we see a straight white male star in a major movie? You already have that. Oh come on. There's many straight white men in movies even now. Avatar 3 is already made? Okay, so I guess my exception has been raised. I'm pretty much sure that the investors are definitely upset that they have greenlighted that. Cameron filmed 2 and 3 back to back like Lord of the Rings? I have no fucking idea. I haven't seen 2 though yet. Is it good? Like people who have seen Avatar 2 in the cinema. Is it worth it? Should I go watch it? I'm actually curious. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't care if it's good. Is it pretty? Is it beautiful on the eyes? That's the only thing that I want to know. Avatar 3 will not break 1 billion. Of course it won't. Like, people are so jaded of sequels that they're not going to go... And they say, oh, well, it's China. Like, China is under lockdown. That's why people didn't go see it. Apparently, it's dumb and green, but very based. It's a pretty car. Okay, so it's pretty. Okay, if it's pretty, I might actually go for the visual. Krydrakai, why do you keep deleting your shit? Stop deleting your shit, for fuck's sakes. I see what you're posting. You don't have to delete it. Avatar 1 is Pocahontas. Avatar 2 is Wokahontas. Man, how can they make them more woke? Like the fucking Smurfs, I hated them so much. The alien race. They were so fucking perfect, weren't they? They were literally so fucking perfect. Like everything was fine. They had absolutely no problem. They had no internal strife. They were not polluting. They were living hand in hand with the nature and the environment. I'm trying to think, but like literally every single shit that those Smurfs had, you know, it's just the evil. The humans were evil. The colonists. Oh my fucking god! I am so sick of the noble savage mythos that was being pushed there. And even in the end, it's like the evil human, in order to become good, he had to transcend. Like literally through tree magic. He actually becomes a Smurf as well. Like, fuck that shit. Oh, thank you for the $50, J3. Pipa took my Dono V card. You get sloppy seconds. Happy New Year. Thanks for the years of entertainment and insight. Why, thank you. And by the way, you should watch Pipa and Jim and Mr. Medical. They streamed together today. It was very beautiful. I'll probably make a clip of it when it's available, because they streamed on Odyssey, and from what I understand, like once you stop streaming, you can't go back to the stream. But it was really good. The Navi, yeah. What was it? Was that what they were called? The Navi. Nothing from that story made any fucking sense. My favorite thing is like, oh look, they managed to beat the humans, and it's like, okay, but why don't the humans just nuke them from fucking space then? Like they literally have ships in space that can do planetary bombardment. Why was it literally that only place on the planet that they could go is like where the tree is? I'm not even going into the idea that, oh look, wildlife and fauna is beating actual helicopters and tanks and stuff. Yeah, the Navi. It's just... And they had sex using their tails, didn't they? Oh my god. To please the furries. Will you be on with Jim for his final stream? I don't think he invited me. If he invites me, I would go. Although maybe I shouldn't, because there's going to be a lot of racial slurs on YouTube out of there. Yeah, so anyway, 10 more minutes until it's New Year's in someone, somewhere's place. I think Brit Bongs get, no? No, sorry, not Brit bongs. They're 1 hour later. I think it's in Russia, actually. I think the Russians get New Year's in 10 minutes. Who gets New Year's? Like type in the chat if you get New Year's in 9 minutes. I get it in an hour and 9 minutes, and I have to stop streaming because I promised my wife I will drink champagne with her. I bought the $50 champagne, and my wife is saying that I'm crazy. I spent too much. The thing is, like, I was literally at the supermarket, and I could have bought some cheap champagne from there. But then I leave the supermarket, right? And I don't want to go back because it's so difficult to leave. Like, you have to stay in line to wait for the cashier. And my wife is like, you don't have champagne. And I'm like, fucking hell, where the fuck can I get champagne now? So I go to this liquor store. And the only champagne that they had was like for $50. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Fuck. I was like, okay. Well, it is what it is. You know, because I didn't want to travel any further. Well, you know, it's New Year's go wild. I mean, okay, I didn't buy like a $200 champagne. But still, you know, it is a little bit expensive. Like, the thing with champagne, and I'll tell you this with drinks in general. Yes, I paid $50 because I didn't want to stay in line. It's not just that I didn't want to stay in line. I already did the shopping from the supermarket. I don't even know, like, where I would leave the bags. Because, like, if you go back and you have the same bags, like, you might get the security hassling you, like, wondering, it's like, okay, but did you pay for them? And then you have to show them the thing, and they have to go through everything. So, yeah, like, I didn't want to go back to the supermarket, because I already had, like, the shopping bags over there. I will not get a second screen in 2023. Yeah, the thing with the drinks, though, you get almost no upgrade in taste if you go from like a cheap champagne to a $50 champagne. But if you do that with steak, like you get like a cheap steak and then you get like a $50 steak, massive upgrade in taste. Like you can definitely say, oh yeah, you know, like this is an expensive steak. See, the question is like how many viewers I will have in 2023 on this channel. Because like when I started, I had like 500 viewers live. I could rate people. I was so cool. But then I tried to gimp myself because I was like, okay, well, I don't want to make streams that go over the radar. Because I was seeing what was happening with other streamers. The elections were coming. People were getting banned. And I was like, okay, well, you know, maybe I should have less viewers. So what I started doing is streaming at different times. I was deleting my own streams. Like right after making a stream, I was deleting it. Censoring myself quite a bit. And I went all the way down to 200 viewers. For a while, I had 300. And now I can barely get 200. And, you know, like, I'm fine if it stays like this. But if it keeps dropping, then I'm panicking. Then I'll be like, okay, well. And I guess it's also the... It's not just the content, but it's also the... how should I put it? Competition. Right, because now I'm competing with VTubers. I think like suggesting Pipkin Pippa also made me lose a lot of subs because now they're watching her. Like I go to her chat and I see my people there, and I'm like, oh my motherfucker, betrayal, treason. Yeah, literally, maybe I should have less viewers. Like I genuinely am happy with how things are going. Right, like I don't want to be like the top guy. The thing is, the people at the top, they're the ones that are getting banned, right? I mean, look at what happened with Nick Rikieta, right? Look at the thing. If you can manage to be like really at the top, like really high, then you don't care because then you can just stream on Rumble or whatever. But if you look at my situation, if I get banned, like no one is going to follow me on Rumble. So I gotta behave. But I am a little bit upset that I nerfed myself way too much. I will have to try and be consistent and regain some of the subscribers that I lost. Stop with the screensaver that covers 80% of the screen? What the fuck are you talking about? He makes more money now? Probably. Anyway, 4 minutes and it's New Year's for someone. I wonder who. Rikieta has a very dedicated viewership, yes. Yeah, 300 viewers is really good. I'm happy with 300. Like, 300 is not too much in order to draw attention, and it's not too little in order to feel like it. The thing with viewers is that you can also interact with the chat. Like, that's the best thing, right? Because it's hard to make an entertaining stream if you don't get some banter with the chat. It feels like making a video, and you get a lot of dead air. So when you have at least 300 viewers, like, the chat is flowing fast enough. There will be at least some people talking about the things that you're discussing, because that's another thing, right? Like, if you're talking about the subject and the chat is talking about something else, then you're not really vibing, are you? Holy shit, there's smoke in the house. My wife is cooking again. Why is she burning everything? I have to descend into the kitchen in order to fix things, because, like, there is so much smoke in my fucking room. Like, how difficult it is to cook without setting fire to the fucking house. Like, my eyes are starting to itch. Holy shit, I'm going to stay like 3 more minutes until it's midnight for someone somewhere. Say Happy New Year's, and then I'm going to see if my wife has managed to burn the house or not. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see it? Hold on, can you see it on the camera that there's smoke in my room? Probably not. But still. Trust me, it is. I discovered Pippa through you, but I still watch you as well. Well, thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. And I appreciate Florial for the champagne fun. There you go. Now I can drink my champagne in peace. No, she's probably making fish, but, like, fucking hell, like, open the window. Why is she trying to gas me? It's the middle of the winter. Now I have to open the window. It's 5 degrees outside. I already told her, like, how to cook without setting fire to the thing. It's just... oh my god. The screen is too small. Even if the screen was big, it's not like it's visible. You would have to smell it. It smells the smoke. I should see what my wife is burning. I know what she is burning. She's setting fire to the house yet again. You know what? Like, if I should actually do that. I should have, like, smoke alarms in my house. The ones that spray with sprinklers. You know, like, this is how you train cats. Like, the best way to train cats is, like, have a syringe with water. And whenever the cat is doing something bad, you spray it with water. And it actually works. You know, you do that, like, 4 or 5 times. And then the cat stops doing the bad thing. You know, like, scratching the sofa or meowing. You just spray it with water. I need to do that. I will install fucking sprinklers in my house. I will try to make a gazebo next year. Yes. If I have enough money, I will try to make a gazebo. I can't take you to see her because even though I'm using my phone as a webcam, it's not using Wi-Fi. It's using a USB stick that's connected to the computer, so. 5 degrees Celsius isn't that... it's still fucking cold, man. So anyway. 9, 8, 7... oh, we're getting excited here. 5, 4... 3, 2, 1... Happy New Year's to whomever the fuck. Thank you for watching my stream. I need to handle this emergency now. I need to see what she set on fire. And yeah, I am ending the stream. Maybe I'll stream later on. I don't know. I'll try. If I can, I can. If not, don't forget that tomorrow we're watching anime on my Discord server. I'll probably stream before the anime watching, and then after that we're going to get together and watch the anime on my Discord. So see you guys there. Take care.